Hey guys, so today's going to be a shorter video with a shorter lesson. We talked about classical conditioning this week, operant conditioning yesterday. Today we are, okay, the title says operant conditioning. Actually need to change that. It's not, it's like things that are learning that are not operant conditioning. I mean, they're kind of tied to it because it's an example of learning that's not operant conditioning. Here, let me get rid of that. Okay, there. And now I can present. I should have done that before. Maybe I can figure out how to edit that part out so I can just start from here, but I'm not so great with the editing. Okay, so a couple of other learning that's not classical or operant conditioning. One of them is called latent learning, and that's learning that's occurred, but you don't know that it has occurred until there's an opportunity to demonstrate the learning. So basically, like there was learning without you being reinforced to do it, to learn something, and there's no way for us to know that if you learned it or not until you can show that you've learned it. Like a school exam is a great example. Let's say that your teacher has given you no quizzes or given any type of little assessment to see if you've known anything. They just go straight to the test. Well, you might not realize that you know something until you're like, oh, you read a question. Oh, it is C. Yeah, I remember talking about C. I know this. And so that's latent learning. It's learning that's like kind of in the back of the brain and pops out when you have a chance to demonstrate it. A maze, like you get one of those kid, what's it called? At a restaurant. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I left the house that I forgot what a menu is called. A menu. So you get a kid's menu and they've got the mazes in there. You don't know that you know the maze until you finish the maze. You don't know the maze at the beginning. You don't know the maze towards the middle. Maybe you're right at the very end when you're like, okay, I know where this is going. That's latent learning. You didn't know that you knew it until you had a chance to do it. And I don't know where else to put this term because it's in this unit, but I don't really know why. And the term is cognitive map. And it just is a mental representation of your layout. So you can close your eyes and you can visualize what it would be like to walk to your bedroom or walk to the kitchen or something. And you probably know, even without having to get in a car, how to get to school. You know which turns to take. And basically it's a mental representation of the layout of your environment around you. Okay, this type of learning I always think is so much fun. It's called insight learning. So it is the aha learning, when you don't realize something until all of a sudden it's clear. It's oh, okay. And that's insight learning. It's almost like that light bulb coming on into your brain. So there's a guy named Wolfgang Kohler, and he did a whole bunch of experiments with chimpanzees and insight learning. And he did a couple of tests. One test, you can kind of see a picture of it here. He put a banana, a treat, at the top of a pole that was really hard to reach. They couldn't reach it. And then he put two short sticks, which by themselves couldn't reach the treat. But then he also put some twine in their habitat. And you can see them trying, they try different sticks and they try to throw the twine up there to knock it down. Nothing works. And then you kind of see the chimps pacing back and forth until all of a sudden, aha, they got it. They tie the two shorter sticks together with the twine. And with that, they can knock the treat down. And so that right there is the aha experience. It is, whenever we learn why jokes are funny, and you're oh, got it. That's insight learning. One of my favorite jokes is, why did the chicken cross the road? A lot of people don't get why that's funny. The insight learning hasn't clicked in. And the reason that's funny is that, okay, so what's the answer? Why did the chicken cross the road? The answer is to get to the other side, right? And people think that's not funny. Well, it kind of is. Because if a chicken crossed the road, probably the chicken would get hit by a car and die, and then cross over to the other realm after death. When people die, they say that they've crossed over. And so why the chicken crossed the road? To get to cross over to the other side. That it's a suicide joke. I know it's not very funny, but it's it's a joke that sometimes people don't realize. They're like, oh, to get to the other side, he's going to die, the chicken. It's like, oh, now I get it. So that's insight learning. Okay, and our last little bit, and you should recognize this guy, and if you don't know who that is, maybe you remember this video clip from class. Do you remember who it is with observational learning? Monkey see, monkey do? Albert Bandura. It's also called social learning. So let's get his name up there. There we go. Albert Bandura and his Bobo doll. We talked about this when we talked about social psychology and learning aggression through observation. Well, now we're back talking about it when talking about learning, because we learn by what is modeled. Modeled is the process of we imitate. We imitate behavior. So if you want to teach someone what to do, you should show that behavior. You should model it for them. Teachers should, when given like a worksheet or like an assignment, they should model the very first steps of like, this is how I want you to look at these types of questions. See how I'm crossing out the answers. See how I'm highlighting the keywords or something. They're trying to model good behavior. If you want, if parents don't want their kids to yell, they should model not yelling. They shouldn't be like, hey, we don't yell in this household. It's like you are literally yelling to say that you don't yell. That chances are they're going to do what you do and not do necessarily what you say. So whatever behavior you want people to imitate, you should do it first, because monkey see, monkey do. So this can have good results. You see someone holding the door open for someone else, you're more likely to do it and copy that behavior. That's pro-social. That's good results. Obviously, you can have bad results, like the Albert Banduras. We see violence, we're more likely to be violent. Those would be antisocial results. So pro-social is going to be beneficial for people, while antisocial is going to be, have negative consequences. Like people that witness abuse are more likely to be abusive. People that witness, charity and giving and selflessness, they're more likely to have those characteristics themselves. Okay. So for your assignment today, I want you on Google Classroom to make a comment on this assignment. And here's your comment. I want you to give me an example of something that you can make something up. It doesn't have to be something about your life. You can. That would be really good if you could tie it somehow to your life. You're more likely to remember it if you do tie it to your life. Give me an example of pro-social observational learning and antisocial observational learning, meaning something that you have learned because good, that it was modeled to you. Maybe some bad habits that you learned that was also modeled to you. So something that you learned by observation, good. Something that you learned by observation, bad. So that's what you're going to be posting as a comment, not on the video, but on the assignment on Google Classroom. All right, guys, have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow, which is Friday, during our, our office hours from 9 to 10, where we'll go over the worksheet that I assigned yesterday about operant conditioning. All right, guys, I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, and stay safe out there, people. If I can ever get this video to end and